Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Roxy Files with Roxy and Shannon. Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. Um, hope everybody's doing good this evening. I see we already got Daniel and Biggie and Wayne the Pain in the house. Hey,
Hi.
guys. We will hang out and chill a minute while we wait on the rest of our regulars to get in here. It might take them a minute, or they might not come. I don't know. Maybe they'll see it tomorrow. Um, I know the biggest thing that's been on mine and Shannon's conversation the past 15 minutes, and Daniel actually just texted me, is the ice storm that's inbound here for the southern Atlantic states. We don't do cold weather well, and if like it sleets here, people just stay home because they don't know how to drive.
Sounds like us in rain over here in
People in the
California.
South don't know how to drive on snow or ice. Like most of them just lose their ever loving mind if it's anything like. I think it was last year we had this little bit of a snowstorm, and yet snow actually stayed for a day or two. Hey Kent, and like nobody left home, nobody went to work, school shut down. It was like the world just stopped for a couple of days while it was frozen down here in the South. So I'm sure we're fixing to get a call here soon that schools are going to be called off. If they even think we're going to have flurries, they start calling school here because the buses can't operate.
For real. Like, I remember a few years back, we had what was called Snowmageddon up here in the mountains. Like, my husband is actually from up in that area. And I mean, that insane damage that snowfall caused. I mean, they had to bring in National Guard to bring up food and stuff. I mean, it was crazy. There was this one grocery store that the roof completely collapsed and it would just demolish what was inside. People were trapped and died. I mean, it was pretty intense.
Well,
So,
and in the construction industry, like down here in the South, they don't particularly engineer the roofing systems to hold heavy snow
no,
because
oh yeah, go ahead.
it's just not something that we deal with on a regular basis. We engineer for hurricanes, not
Right.
snow.
Well, and like ice and things like that is much heavier with water content
Hmm.
too. So I can imagine it would do a lot more damage.
Well, I'm hoping we don't have a lot of ice and power doesn't go out down here because this house that we're in, it has two fireplaces, but one of them the insert's busted and the other one doesn't have an insert in it, so we won't be using either one of those. We will be trying to figure out how best to heat our rear end. So my question to Willie earlier was, when have you cranked the generator and does it run?
Right? Well, I really hope everyone out there who is in these areas, and Roxy and Daniel and everyone, all and Super Dave, I don't know if he'll be affected, but we'll be praying for you. And I hope you guys get supplies and stuff just in case, because we know the FEMA people are not exactly the most
Helpful.
reliable. So,
Ain't nothing helpful in them letter agencies, not
no,
nothing.
no.
You tell me one of them with an abbreviation that does anything that is helpful other than funnel money to Somalia. I don't know.
Right. What is that, Daniel? Will build wind sack or shacks?
Shacks.
Gosh, I cannot read. I'm
I don't
sorry.
know exactly what he means by wind shacks, but I don't think I want to be in it.
But at least you've got a plan. That's good. There's
I
a
saw a
plan.
lady earlier who was showing a trick, and what she had done, she had taken one of those, like I call them the Thanksgiving trays.
Oh
The aluminum
no.
disposable pans. She put a bunch of tea lights in it and then put one of the racks over it, like an oven rack or one of the grid racks, like you cool cakes on,
Uh-huh.
with tea light candles in it. And she had a tea kettle up there with hot water. And then she
Hey.
put her a frying pan up there, and you could actually cook simple things on it, like an egg or boil water or whatever you needed. So, just a tip and trick,
Hey.
guys. If nothing else happens, metal pan, a rack, and some tea light candles, you can have some source of heat. And terracotta pots. I don't know if anybody's ever looked into the terracotta pot, like flower pots with candlelights. They put off an amazing amount of heat. Because
Oh yeah, I've got one.
Yep, Super Dave is right in the worst area, Daniel. He's gonna be right up there on the main slap of it for our state.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh well, time to hit the prayer closet for you guys.
Yeah, can't
A
y'all, if you're in
rolling.
Kannapolis, they're calling for some nasty stuff on your side of the border, friend. Kent,
Mm.
I gotta remember that you in Kannapolis, buddy, because I love me some Kannapolis. That is one of my all-time favorite places in the world to go on a short vacation. And I know you know where I'm talking about. Right there downtown, it's the little outlet store. It's got the big Levi sign on the side of it with all of the clothes in it. We drive all the way to Kannapolis to go there about once a year because we like to go stay at a cabin up there. I know you know where I'm talking about. We love walking in downtown Kannapolis, our favorite place at the Armor Brewery. But anyway, guys, we're supposed to be here to talk about Pluribus episode 5, and it's not the most interesting of the episodes. It is kind of one of the more dull ones. So we'll probably talk about 2.5 minutes, and then we're gonna bail on out on another subject that Shannon and I got distracted with today.
Well, it might be dull, but it's a very big build up episode. It's like it's a build up episode because the following episode is like a big smack in the face. But I can at least tell you that throughout the entirety of episode 5, I'm already on it and I'm shouting out to the top of my lungs, Soylent Green, it's Soylent Green. And if any of you guys know what that is, I'm sure you have an inkling.
Well, Carol finds out she has to take her own trash out because the whole town leaves after because we talked about the other day how she dosed Social with um True Serum and then everybody leaves. When she wakes up, she sees them just mass exodus leaving the town, and she has to take her own trash out. And she notices that the only trash that the we are leaving behind are milk cartons, and do a little more digging she finds a food warehouse, and then she finds something up under a tarp in that food storage. Would you like to tell him what she found, Shannon?
You don't want me to wait till episode 6, or you want me to go? Let
Just
me
go.
go. Okay. Yeah, it's Soylent Green, guys.
Yeah,
It's
she
human
found body
part.
parts.
It's human.
Yeah.
They're
They're
yeah.
because they can't kill anything, they can't kill any animal, and they can't pick fruit off the tree. They can only use things that are already dead. So what they're doing is the people that are dying, they're kind of grinding them up into a powder and turning them into this milk stuff for their Soylent Green.
So I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight up.
That that's pretty
Okay.
much the whole episode is what you're leading up to there, and so it's just a big build up, and then she figures out right at the end that they're drinking the dead people.
And so this is where I would like to fully express, at least, okay, just this is how I feel. I feel like we are so inundated with the topic of cannibalism in almost every form of
Yep.
entertainment in our face all the time. And it's just like, okay, we went from like the zombie thing, which, okay, I guess you can get away with in a sense because they're the living dead or something, right? But just more and more as the years keep on keeping on, we're just inundated with nonstop cannibal culture.
Well, now when I go back and I see movies from 10, 20 years ago, and you go back and you look at some of the go watch a movie you looked at 15, 20 Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I think is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they talk about the chrome in there.
Oh, girl,
Oh,
don't
yeah, and
no,
then his
let me
eyes
no, no,
turn
no, no, no.
yellow and he's got horns and
I know the full story, the full story of how that person in real life, the character um that is being portrayed in that movie was able to get the chrome. So that's a very disturbing topic, but I'll tell you this, that it's all tied to that. Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Sorry, I'm like, I have to keep myself
Right.
chill because I want to say so much
Rein
out
it in. Don't
loud.
blow the lexicon
Yeah, I was
words,
like, I
Shannon.
can't do it. I can't do it.
Don't blow the lexicon words.
Ah,
I
yeah.
saw that, Kent. I saw that Dale correction versus Daryl, and I'll forgive you because around here we raise hell and praise Dale all day, every day. We love some Earnhardt. That's why I go to Kannapolis. Yeah, my daddy was a race car man. We love some Dale Earnhardt around here. I actually have my hat's laying here right beside me that says "Raise Hell, Praise Dale." Every car my daddy ever had looked like Dale Earnhardt's car. That's the paint scheme he used. And that's why we go to Kannapolis. I like NASCAR. I'm a big old redneck. But anyway,
That's okay. You want to know a secret?
what's that?
I love monster trucks.
Oh,
I
monster trucks.
freaking love them. Okay. And I'm a Southern California girl. And a lot of people are absolutely shocked when I say that. But nope. Mm-mm. Bring on the Bigfoot, some grave digger. Let's go.
Now, see,
I got to see Truckosaurus.
you and my grandson would be right in the same boat.
Let's go with some freaking monster trucks. I want to ride one. Let's go. Okay.
Well, folks, Shannon and I have a surprise, and this was Super Dave. I'm gonna get this into you, buddy, because if it hadn't been for you, me and Shannon would have never seen this while ago. Super
Yeah.
Dave sent a text message in our group text about right here in the iPet goat video. And he sent us a screenshot of this little girl here. And so Shannon and I, we were sitting here running our mouths, so we decided to pull it up. Well, we were on FaceTime. Well, sometimes a camera on a phone looking at a computer will see things you couldn't normally see. Well, we saw something. Didn't mean to, just kind of happened to run across it. Well, we know that here you see him turn into him. And then there's this scene right here where it changes. And we're going to turn the sound off. You see, she kind of like wakes up. But look at them big blue eyes and the blonde hair. And Shannon, I do believe that is a flower above her ear that we discussed a while ago.
Yes, it is.
But she's holding the apple. She her head, if you watch her brow, she looks down, her brow furrows like she's thinking hard about something and she lets the apple go. Well, as the apple rolls, it rolls across this, which appears to be an upside down seven, a C, and the toe of a shoe. Well, Shannon and I paused it here because we were gate kids. And when you see something like this, that's a code. That's something that they taught us to um, decipher. And one of my favorite deciphers that we ever did in there was the one about between a rock and a hard place. And all it was images, and you had to pick out the slogan from the couple of images that you seen. And this is what intrigued me and Shannon. Well, upon our intrigue, let's see if we can get it to pull up in here. If you will look, well, of course, I'm not going to be able to do it here. But if you will look, there's an upside down seven, a C, an apple, and a boot with a steel toe. But Shannon and I realized right here on the bottom right hand corner, there's something there. Well,
Oh, wait. 1 second. I think I know what that stuff on his shoe represents that it looks like a snake at this ain't like from this direction. And to me, for some reason, the apple to me looks like, especially if you're thinking of, the blonde haired girl
Oh,
and
it
what
is
she
a
represents.
Shannon.
Yes, it's a snake. And this apple is like a sacrifice and stuff. Okay, keep going. I just had to put that in because I just thought of this now.
I can see the snake now. There's the head right there,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's
where
a
the tail
snake.
comes back and wraps around. And
Mm-hmm. And
there's
up.
another one up there.
Mm-hmm.
But look right here. There's a seal. Let's see. Shannon and I figured out there is a seal right there up under his foot, in which it's really hard when you do a screenshot of it or zoom in on it to get it to look at it so you can really see what it is. But we're trying to figure out what that sigil or that seal is right there. But that kind of distracted Shannon and I today because when he looks down and sees that, then he starts sweating and he seemed worried.
But then you look at him now at that scene, and he looks pure evil. Like his eyes are pure, like just glowing white, and he looks demonically possessed.
Well, we know he is pure evil.
I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there. Like maybe this was some kind of like sacrifice with this pure uh Erika figure. I'm just gonna spell some stuff here.
Yeah.
And
Make sure you
that
put a dot dot and a dash in it every other word.
right? And that worry is like, oh my God, I'm being embodied by this. It's a happening. And then you look back and he's got the snake wrapped around his shoe, and there's a sigil under there that, from what we can make out, looks to seem like a dude holding this some kind of a bow or banner or sail. We can't tell if he's on a horse or on a boat there, but there's something there, and that's upside down. But when or well, that's right side up, but when you see it upside down, it looks like a a sigil seal that you would see in magic with the K, if that makes sense.
Well, I know that Sir Daniel is much better if you're listening. Uh Hello Super Dave.
Hey, Super Dave.
You're being attributed with some wonderment of tonight. If you're listening, this is all your fault. Me and Shannon
Yeah.
fell down a whole nother rabbit hole today. The little text you sent earlier with the picture of the blonde girl and iPet Goat 2 and who we think it is give us a whole new meaning.
Oh yeah, see, and there's like the rattlesnake tail right there. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so you can see it. And this is about as close as I can get zoomed in on it without some more image editing on it. But, and like I said, we don't know which way's up and which way's down. So I need somebody to go in and look at that and maybe take some type of imaging filter software. Because if you see right here, we've got this arc, but in that movie, the Jesus character is riding this boat that's kind of got a bow to it with this horn thing on the front. And then Shannon also sees she thinks she sees a horse in it, possibly with a bow. But like I said, we need to pull the seal out and see if we can find somebody to tell us what that seal is. So
Well,
Daniel, if you're listening, I'll send you the image, sir.
right. And when you look at it just like this, like right side up, like if you were looking at this as it's, it is a right side up image, even though it's upside down, technically, like the real image, it actually literally looks like a specific sigil that is attributed to a specific uh demon. Okay, we'll just say like from Solomon's time, like the ones that helped Solomon build the temple and stuff. So it's like it's so crazy to me how it literally is both in one, and there's something to that.
Absolutely. Okay, Clayton. I'm over here reading Clayton's comments. 72 Kings of Hell. You really need to dig into that. In fact, I've got something that I think will blow your.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do what, Shannon?
I'm excited about this comment. Okay, keep going. It's exactly what I was talking about. The sigils
Okay.
of Solomon, or those demons. Yeah.
Something's coming possibly very soon this year. Well, do tell, Clayton. Give us some more. What is this up here he's saying? What is that, Shannon?
Ars
ARSGO.
Goetia. Goetia. Ars Goetia.
See, I don't
With
know what that is.
dude, I don't know, Clayton, if you've seen the Puppet Professor series on like the sigils, and them of course being correlated to emojis, and possibly if that is maybe along the lines of what you might even be discussing. Jacob Israel, one of I love that content creator, by the way. Shout out Jacob Israel. I freaking love you. You're awesome. But he helped to bring out that whole series of what that guy who uses a puppet to explain it all, but the guy behind it and what he's trying to explain with these sigils being connected to emojis and all that kind of stuff. It's very fascinating, but I'm just curious.
Well, for anybody who wants to take a good shot of it, it is at the 1 minute 29-second mark in. And this is how Shannon and I come across it. Yeah, Clayton, if you got something, you can, if you
Yes.
got more on this, come on air, we'll have you on. Like, we're ready to talk about it. But the thing back here in the background, the upside, the sea, the apple, and the shoe. This is what, okay, there are 72 demons that Solomon commanded to build second temple and then put it
Yep.
in an urn.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, you were on it, Clayton. Let's go.
All right, Clayton, you've officially been invited to mine and Shannon's show. We need to discuss this because you seem like you got some knowledge, my friend. I mean, we can do it right now or we can do it Thursday. Either way you want to
Yeah,
do it, but I'll send you a link.
let's go. We could totally do that Thursday. Oh, that'd be great.
Well, this upside down 7 here, because it could be an upside down 7, it could be an L, it could be a greater than symbol. But one thing Shannon and I know, and anybody else ever been in the gate program, if you did these pictogram decipher things,
Mhm.
everything in that image is something.
Something.
So everything is something. So we're looking at the upside down 7, a C with an apple, a steel toed boot, and there's a sigil or seal. He's got a whole mini series he put together, but I haven't really shared it around a lot because most people can't see the forest for the trees,
Oh
and
my
it's
god, we would
extremely
love to share.
detrimental for all. Honey, you don't know how many times a week Shannon has to hear me say the forest for the trees.
Yep. We don't care. We're gonna shout it out anyways. Let's go. We would love to share this. This is great.
Yes. I've got all the emojis in their respective sigils. Honey, 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 share it.
Let's go.
Share it. Come on, let's show it. These people need to see it. I mean, I'm not even fully aware what all of this, but I want to learn.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh. Send yours, and I'll also send her the Puppet Professor's version, and it's gonna blow your mind, Roxy. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Let's go. Okay, I'm really excited. I'm too pumped for my own good. I do apologize. I'll calm down.
see, we are excited that we caught that sigil, and the only reason we caught it was because we were on FaceTime.
Yep.
Shannon and I spend approximately 1 to 4 hours a day on FaceTime.
Mhm. Yep. And poor Roxy, she doesn't even know I have like nothing else to do right now than look through all this and talk to her because I'm stuck in this bed most of the time. So it's great. You're my,
No, no,
you're
no.
my
You good,
entertainment.
Clayton. Don't worry about being behind.
No, not at all.
No, you don't worry about being behind. You reach out to us and we will put this all together. I'm interested in anybody who's got information because everybody needs to hear it. Um yeah, the whole FaceTime thing when I turned my phone around and it's like it changed the lighting on this square over here at the shoe and we could see on it because this is what Shannon and I are doing today. We were going just barely moving the video along because one of the things we've been doing is we don't really know how much of what we're seeing is real. Even when you're seeing stuff on the news or like public civil unrest, any of that stuff, you don't know what of it's real. You don't know what of it's AI anymore. It's hard to discern reality.
Hmm.
So, on one of my searches to go in and try to figure out how to discern what was real and what was not, one of the things is going frame by frame in a video. If it is AI, there will be unnecessary messed up giblets because AI can't do it perfectly. It'll be like you'll go frame by frame, and all of a sudden, as they're like, it looks like video of somebody driving down the street because a protest or something's happening. But if you pay attention to the background, frame by frame, if it's fake, there'll be a half a building missing or a T Rex dinosaur in the background. It's
Yes, we
crazy.
all
You just
what
got
we're
to look
talking
for it.
about. A freaking T Rex. I can't. I
Okay, I'm
can't.
trying to catch up with Clayton's comments here. He has a
Right.
ton on this, and it goes deep. It's terrifying.
It is.
Last 3 years, and now I've got academic, highly astute proof. It's a bit too big, though, I think, and I don't think I can do it. At text format, there's too much. Would be honored. I would have to try and figure that out. I've never done anything that way on my laptop. Um, in a long time. And I do have a camera. You don't have to have your camera on here because we leave cameras off because y'all people want to talk to us. You know what I look like. There's my picture. I'm not spending an hour and a half slathering on that poisonous cream on my face to look good. So,
I
but
keep telling you, I never do. I know I'm like one of the few shows their face on like, Thursdays when it's Children of the Most High, but I don't care about the makeup part anymore. And I know probably every hairdresser and makeup artist out there is like, how dare you? But
yeah,
it's like
I'm
don't
just not
kind of.
interested in slathering all that stuff on. Well, see, I've watched this, and I've watched Daniel a lot with this, and this interests me. Forest with trees, you can tell where I'm at. I wish I could keep up. Okay, well, it's fine, Clayton. I'm reading along. You'll figure out as you come along. I'm reading along. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to have you on the show. Either one of our shows, both of our shows, whatever. Um, we'd love to see what you got to share. And hi, Mike. I don't think I spoke to Mike when he came in. Where do you want me to
Hi,
send it?
Mike. And hi, Diana.
Hang on.
I
Hey,
don't know why I just
Diana,
sang.
did she? I saw her in the group, but I keep forgetting I didn't speak to her. And I sent you some stuff on Facebook Messenger earlier, Diana. So, yeah. Here I'll put my email in there, and you can send it there. And Shannon and I will look at it tomorrow. There we go. There's the email. Driving home from work now, but if you shoot me your email and some digits. All right. I sent you some email on screen. You can go back and watch this later. Compassionate virtuosity. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank everybody for joining us tonight. Um, okay. All right, we got Clayton all hooked up. He gonna email some stuff, and we're gonna talk about this again later. So we'll come back to the seal because Clayton's got some serious information. But Shannon and I just kept running through this thing, like stop, go, looking for what does and doesn't change. But this is where, right, where was it at? Right here, the boat that he's on. These things right here lead me down a Hyphalim trail with these animals because that's where I've been stuck at. But see the boat he's on right there? See the round bow to it and the horns at the front? That's what drew my attention to the sigil. And then you see
Right.
the
I
constructed
see
church
that.
behind it. When the church falls. And I think
I,
that means organized religion.
well,
But
it
that's my
points
personal opinion.
to, well, and also points to an exact thing that actually took place. And, because of that moment and it playing out exactly how it plays out in this um, petting goat thing, uh, is that it's literally spot on. Oh my gosh, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
there's sirens and it distracted me from what. But it's so exact, like the way the spire falls and the whole 9 yards. That's what tipped me off that this had to be AI. It had to be AI created. And the actual, sure, there was some prompts put in there, but the beings, the entities behind this AI already knew these things were going to take place and the symbology and things, and they put a lot of that truth and real situations that played out in this thing that it created. And I just know because I don't, I mean, I know there's abilities that we have and all of those things, but this to me was, it just was 100% that this is AI generated. It has to be. And so yeah, it's like it's a symbolic thing to an actual real-time event. Like there's even a scene in there where there's these guys who are of a certain ethnicity, right, who end up almost drowning in a mining situation or in this kind of cave kind of thing. And there was a real situation like that happened not that long ago, and of course, they were rescued, but it was a really big thing. And it was like almost exactly like how that played out. Oh, no, no, no. Nope. Sorry, guys. Trying to save hold on. I gotta give me a second. All right.
You okay over there, Shannon? Must be an animal gone haywire. Okay, no, we don't do a lot of cameras, Clayton. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, it's like the Simpsons on acid, Diana. And Daniel's gone through this a lot, and we've looked at it, and we've talked about it, and the characters in it. And so, like, when I started going through this, I started just stopping it, like looking at scene, and it, like, right back here in the background. I don't know if y'all can see my little pink thing moving around the screen. Bull derrick, and right here on the front, you're pumped running down a river to the, and it's dripping in this lake of oil. And then you got the Statue of Liberty with a storm brewing above it. Then you got a baby in an egg, and you got a serpent looking at it, and the serpent's winding around it. Well, then you got a spark in the heart of what would be possibly Christ consciousness. And then here comes the boob tube, the serpent in the hollow box connected to the child's head, just zoning him out. And then you'll see in just a second Right there in his eyes, it's talking about markets plummeting, which would mean a financial failure of some sort.
Okay,
Um,
sorry. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me?
we got other texts coming in. We have other people who aren't texting in the group chat. They're texting on cell phones about the show. Sir, I can't read, Chris, and do this at the same time. Hang on. But
But
as
can you
you
hear
were,
me? Oh no, you
yeah,
can't
I
hear
can hear
me.
you, Shannon.
Oh, thank God. Sorry. I just want. I don't mean to interrupt, but I had a very like amazing sign from God yesterday with this little pregnant praying mantis that showed up, and she's still here. She's still hanging out with me, and my cat almost ate her. So I'm so sorry. I had to save her. Okay,
I got
carry
nailed
on.
by, okay, Facebook Rams might be quicker, but they blocked me today. They ain't the way in the law. That's a Roman fortress. Okay. But right here in his eyes, you see that this stock market plunge, like this is what caught my eye. I had never even noticed in that there are three TRB-3 airplanes in this video. I had never even noticed these. And if you've seen one come over your house, Daniel knows um that yeah, those things right there are monstrous. They're bigger than a football field. Uh yeah. I'm trying to read comments as we go through this. Yeah, I'm really glad I never missed
Well,
this show.
if anybody knows anything about those particular aircraft too, they are like, they have a lot of capabilities to peer on people. I guess that would
Mm-hmm.
be a really good way to put it. And also using electromagnetic things, and they have a lot of interesting capabilities that may or may not have been reconstructed from other said technology. I don't want to say alien though. I'm just saying. I want to say the other way, but you guys get it.
Well, when you're looking at this, and then you got the planes, and see there right there almost looks like a rocket something in the air. I don't know. Oh, it is the rocket that hits this, but you see what it's hitting right here. You got the crescent moon and yeah, kind of like a midnight hammer. And then there was all like a butterfly of peace, and you're going through all of this. And I don't know, this right here struck me as odd. I think I'd ever paid this apart any attention, Shannon.
Yep, I'm here.
Does this whole like hair and makeup and the bling and the beads, does that remind you of anything? Island boys.
Tribal stuff.
You remember the
Mm-hmm.
two island boys?
Yep.
And then you got some
One
dude
went.
here in a bathing suit with a skull. That tattoo right there means, I mean, I know what skull and crossbones mean, but you got a man in a bathing suit with a child who looks like he's just zonked out with tattoos and makeup on, and he's just gently untying. Yeah, there's your worker you were talking about. Like drowning green goo, whatever the green
Yeah.
goo is.
Sorry, there's like construction noises outside. Oh, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, there's a lot in this. But you see, if this is the Christ consciousness, it's like he's coming awake. The fire is building where it was just a spark. It's now, and this is yelling at it, trying to get the kid's attention, and then bam. Here comes the fire. Are you still there?
I am. I am still here. I'm trying to get away from the sound, and I move a little slow. So just bear with me.
Okay. Just making sure. Well, and there's a lot more to this, but you see that right this the intensity of this right here to have to do with sexual depravity and everything associated with it is like one of the last. Because when you think
Well,
about
and
like
you could tell
demons,
that
you got gluttony and lust.
when you can tell in the boy's eyes. I mean, aside, it's like there's three kind of meanings behind it. Drugged out, yeah. Demonically possessed, yeah. Robotic, or you know, um cyborg like.
Yeah, kind of like pluribus.
Hmm.
And see, this is my take on this. You got a whole bunch of zombied out people walking around like robots, and the Christ consciousness is about, and you see him stretching his arms. Now the serpent's running, and you'll see the kid get up and kind of shake it off, and then here's the curiosity of a child just dancing whimsically.
And it's also linked to a specific, I believe they're called Sufis. I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I've looked this up, but it's a specific dance, and it has to do with like the worship and praise of the and creation of the universe. And they just twirl and twirl and twirl for just like hours and hours and hours in a trance like state.
Well, and you saw in the beginning when the two pieces of the apple combined, it looks like this flower that comes out of it. And as he's traveling along right here, you see these flowers falling behind him, which tells me that flower, the geometry of it, the petals, that all of that is important here because these flowers are behind him. Not to say that the person has any kind of foresight or anything of that nature. This is just what we see. And you see the sun, and he's headed toward it, but you see the three pyramids in the back, and then something knocks the pyramid out, which are the three pyramids of Giza, I'm assuming. And the first falls, and the second falls, and then the third falls, and then it goes off
And
as he just kind of
it's
sits
interesting
there
because
looking at the sun.
it seems like the sun is emitting a pulse, right? Like in the Pluribus intro, the intro sequence, as it's like
Hmm.
pulsing. And it's like it's emitting a frequency, but like at the same time, it's a portal just shooting out things, which I think are maybe more, beings like shooting falling stars, maybe, in my opinion. It's my thoughts. I can't speak for
All
anybody
right,
else.
well, I'm gonna talk to Diana for a second. And Diana, where's James? I don't see no James in the room, and you tell him we are not good with this. That I am upset. My feelings are hurt. There's no James. Just saying. You can play it back for him, James. You've hurt my feelings. You're not here tonight. You better have a good excuse. But anyway, Anunnakian or reptilian in design. My current rabbit hole that I am digging down, I have, well, it's about 12 pages on my spreadsheet, but I am breaking down pre flood and post flood civilizations. In those civilizations, what is their artifacts, their artwork, their deities, and they're mythological monsters. Because if we go by the Bible, the fallen angels came and laid with the daughters of men, whether that means physically or genetically, but laid with the daughters of men, and monsters were made. The reason that we have the flood of Noah is to get rid of the monsters. So if you go back to pre flood civilizations, you find that their deities and their artwork are. We had this thing the other day that I had discovered about the word human. The word human, if you have a blue shirt and you're looking at a hue of blue, so if you're looking at a human, you're looking at a shade of man. Hang on one second, guys. Shannon.
Yes. Hello. We've got a lot of chaos
Sorry.
going on between us two right now. Sorry about that.
Well, all of a sudden somebody's knocking on the door and it was a grandbaby looking for a fishing pole. It's dark outside, dude. We're not fishing. But when we're looking at what we think is Anunnaki or Draconian, and you're looking at these Egyptian hieroglyphs, you're seeing images of half human, half fish, half human, half bird, half human, half horse, half human, half goat. So these were hybrids. If these hybrids were created by some type of hybridization with a fallen angel, they would have possibly been imbued with special powers or abilities or knowledge. And this is why those creatures become deities. Because in a civilization where you don't have, books or the internet or whatever, these are I don't know. And that's where I'm at, folks. It's been a long week. And I have tried to figure out by which civilization on which continent. Shannon, I don't know, something going on with your mic. Um, sounds like something rubbing against it.
Sorry. Okay. Is that better?
Much better. But
Okay.
when you're looking at the continent or the civilization, and I've also done it by tracking blood types and genetics and the family shield or, the religious, all of that. And I try to put the pieces in on each civilization. Like one civilization I look at in the Pyrenees Mountains is the Basque people. Their mythical monster was a hairy giant, which sounds a lot like Sasquatch. If you look at some of the American early Indian, they talk about the great eagle, and their totems are like half man, half eagle. Look at the Egyptian stuff. It's half man, half fish, half man, half crow. But if these were the monsters that were made that the flood was supposed to have gotten rid of, there's still a problem in that theory.
I do know because I've come across this just recently. And I know I'd heard about it before, and I've read the Book of Enoch a few times, and you know, all of that. But there is this giant that did have remorse and chose to follow God. And I know in the book of Og and of King Og, he talks about how he's fighting against these other giants who decided to go with God, but of course he's slaying most of them. But there is one in particular that Enoch actually speaks to, and he has a dream, like prophetic dreams about the flood, and he tries to warn the rest of the giants, and the giants just laugh at him and tell him he's crazy, like the whole Noah thing, right? It's like the giant version of it. And but it's said in that story, and maybe some other parts of the apocrypha, that his soul was actually taken up to heaven and that God redeemed him because he showed repentance. And he actually separated himself from all of the giants just to be close to God. It's very interesting. And I do know that in the book of Noah, it talks about how there was some kind of a giant, and I always assumed maybe it was Sasquatch. I don't know, but one of them got on the boat. There was some mercy shown to that one because some of them were more benevolent than malevolent.
Okay, well, it says that when Noah was born, his his color and his presence, he was like pale of skin with rosy cheeks, that it was alarming to others. Okay, so that leads us down one of two roads. Either Noah was an albino, or they were shocked because he was light colored because everybody else was dark.
Yep.
So if Noah is the only pure non-human, if he's a man, if he's not, if he's pure, his genetics are pure, if he is the only one, that means that Noah's wife, nor his three sons are pure, nor their three wives. We
Right.
know what recessive genetics do. There are whole tribes over in some of these African countries that have hoofed feet. Have you seen those?
Yep.
They literally have hooved feet. There are some people in some countries that grow horns out of their heads. There are some people who have an extra vertebrae, hexachromium eyes, and a lower body temperature. So this is what Roxy's trying to do. Roxy's trying to figure out which civilization is connected to which fallen angel. It's been a long week, folks. I've looked at Sumerian art. I've looked at all kinds of civilizations and their art. And if you look at their deity, you read the Bible, when, and this is how I look at it. When you're going back and you're looking at civilizations from thousands of years ago, the only thing we have is what we've found. So we have to try to take that and interpret it. If our civilization was to go away today and the only thing you had to interpret us by was our art, what would you think of us? You
Um,
would think we were all just canoodling crazy, because I don't know if you've seen some of the art in some of these museums, but that's not art.
oh, you're not into Basquiat?
Yeah. We, when we go back and look at what they left behind that we found, their technological capabilities. Even when you go back and look at a painting like The Last Supper, that's not just a painting, folks. That is not just a painting of some people having dinner. That painting is just as interpretive as I Pet Goat. And that is going to be one of my next things that I dive into. I got to get a good program so I can get a good copy of that online and dive into it.
Ooh, I
Um,
can I can help because I do have some interesting stuff on that, and interesting dives I've done before on that painting and the man behind that painting, because he is of course behind a lot of things in the, you know,
mhm,
the funny fish hat uh
mhm.
religion that I came out of.
And the reason for that is, for some reason, for 2 days in my brain, the word Medici wouldn't go away, and I find out that he is connected to the Medicis.
Yep. Which, see, there's so much interesting stuff they put in video games. Daniel showed that to you in a few shows. Daniel with the Logic Before Authority and the Supernatural show, in case you guys haven't seen it. But he, dived in on, what was it, Metal Gear back in '98 and all the predictive programming stuff. But again, it's like, there's this video game that's literally all about that subject matter, just like Resident Evil and all these other things that we tie together. It's just kind of fun. I lost the video game name. Oh, it's the one with the Templars.
Is it Gears of War? I can't
No, it's like
remember.
it's literally based off the Templars, and this guy like goes back in time, like in some kind of government time machine
Oh,
melt.
that's Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. The
I actually used
Medici
to love
family
that
is
game.
actually mentioned in that, by the way, and other said interesting hierarchy families.
I played the first 2 editions of that game, like, crazily, kinda like Super Mario addiction for a while. This is when
Yes.
PlayStation 3, 4, 5, something come out, my kids had it. One of them got Assassin's Creed, and I got hooked on this thing because it was, like, history, and then all of a sudden, the next version that come out, I could no longer play it. For some reason, it made me physically ill to watch that player run around, like, it throwed off my balance or something, I couldn't do it, where I had played the previous 2 with no problem, but
Right.
they changed something and it screwed me up.
It's very that whole the Templars thing, of course, which ties into all the webs of all the things we're talking about. I find it so very fascinating that under this new guy with the funny fish hats reign, he allowed the Templars back in. He invited them back in, and they had a big old parade and their regalia and costumes and everything, just to show that they were allowed back into the good graces of the that particular sect of religion. And I just found that to be quite interesting, because if anybody knows what the truth behind, like, what is it, the Friday the 13th thing, and how it's all unlucky and all that, that goes back to the Templars. And when the the fish hat guy at the time decided he was going to call them heretic and burn them and stuff.
Well, see, I had this conversation the other night with an 80-year-old woman who has never had a sip of alcohol pass her lips. She has always been, Southern Baptist, always been to church, used to go to church 3 days a week. Was the Sunday school, vacation Bible school lady. She did it all. She looked at me the other night and she said, she, this is Willie's mom. She really doesn't know what I do on here. She just assumes it's work. And we'll put that in quotations because Willie will tell her, like, she's working. w- She's 80. It's hard to explain a podcast to her. So she came to the shop the other night and she looked at me. She said, "Did you know that they left a bunch of books out the Bible?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, she did not just open the door." When she opened that door, son, I stepped in like broad stride. I said, "They sure did." I said, "There's many more books of the Bible which you've not read." And she just kind of looked at me, like, "How do you know this?" I said, "That would be the Ethiopian Bible." "Well, where can I find one?" We went talking about it. She's like, "Well, what's wrong with the King James Version?" I said, "Well, my first question is, would you take your religious book and let George Bush, Obama, or Trump edit it and then give it back to you to read?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, who do you think King James was? He was the king." And I told her exactly what his lifestyle was and what his previous books that were written. And this poor woman, whom I love with every inch of my being, had the most horrified look on her Southern Baptist face I'd ever seen. And this is what kills me, is that people, and I was one of them as a child, and many others were, we were brought up in this constraint of that brick building with a steeple on it that you were supposed to go pay your tithes to. And you were supposed to listen to exactly what they said and never question where they got the information from or how it was written or where it was derived from. So if you want the truth, you got to go all the way back to the beginning, because anything from the beginning forward has been lied about, changed, manipulated, and switched up to control all of us. And Shannon and I said this today, that some days it's really hard to see the game and know that you're inside of it trying to escape.
Yep, this is where praying every day for the strength and patience and humility to get through till the end of your trial on this earth, because I mean, no one is promised tomorrow, and but at the same time, so many of us long to be home with Jesus, and it's just like you just don't know, and we just got to keep focused on what's right and what's important. And here I am getting distracted again. Man, I feel like that dog in that movie Up was like squirrel, squirrel. Oh my gosh. I've been
No,
sitting in a bed for a week, guys. So if I'm a little stir crazy and a little extra, it's not my fault. Just saying.
well, Biggie, I agree with you on the video games. I have a 30-year-old son who has been playing Call of Duty since it came out. Probably he was one of the first ones to get the new PS whatevers they were back then, and he still to this day plays it. And he's been invited to big like national tournaments because he's one of the top whatevers. That's all he does. Now my kid's different. He was, he's different. He still lives with me. He stays in an apartment here on the property, but he's it's all he's ever been interested in. Those first shooter games are horrible. They suck you in, and due to the fact that you can communicate with other people, you get sucked into them and you play them so long that that's the only outlet or interaction in the world you have is with the other people playing this violent game with you. And you're yelling and screaming and kill him and knock him off the roof. And I don't know, it's just so violent.
Well, that too. And it's like for a little bit, Andy was really into Call of Duty. It was like several versions back, and he was playing it all the time, and it was driving me up the wall to constantly hear Keither Sutherland's voice saying the same things over and over and over again, and then it's like a bunch of shots just nonstop, like over and over again. And I looked at it and was like, how can you handle this? Like, it is literally the same, sounds and speech and trigger words just over and over again. I was about to lose my ever loving mind. I could not do it. No. Mm-mm.
All right, Clayton, I'm trying to find your email now. Let's see. Clayton says he has emailed us. And
What's funny is I'm looking up the the person I'm actually subscribed to, can't seem to find it on that subject matter, and I find that to be very fascinating right now. It's
yep,
like I'm
this is
subscribed
fascinating.
to.
Clayton, I'm not seeing your email either. I don't doubt that you didn't send it, but I'm not seeing it.
We've had some weird tech stuff today, like all day. So this is, yep, right in line.
Yeah, they do try to keep some of us from communicating, Mike. They're pretty good at that. I'll give it a second and we'll see if it comes in or maybe if it gets thrown to a spam folder. Because goodness knows I get a lot of spam. Spam, spam, and more spam. And 27 emails trying to get me to file taxes. You reckon they trying to get people not file taxes this year? And if any of you are filing taxes, I'm not giving you tax advice, but I just happened to used to do that for a while. Don't do it now. If you are going to file taxes, wait. Don't be in a rush this year because the forms, basically, from what I'm gathering, from what I've read, I'm looking at the spam now, Mike. I'm waiting to see if it comes in. Sometimes it's slow. I'm giving it a second. But the child tax credit had not been being calculated correctly since like 2023, I think it was. So they are gonna good night, Daniel. They're
Good night.
gonna give you back the difference in that calculation. So it'll be a boost to your child tax credit for this year, but they have not amended the form or the calculation yet. So don't get in a hurry. I know a lot of people, and I'm just like everybody else. We all in a financial canoodle at the moment because we just come through the holidays. But try not to be in a hurry to get that money this year. Yep, Daniel has headed to bed.
Good night, Daniel and Miss Kim.
I don't think you send it to a random Clayton. Just give it a second. Sometimes it can take a minute. I know my email's not full. We'll give it a minute. Uh oh, he didn't send. He had see you didn't hit the send button, Clayton. I'm sitting here looking and it's not going.
It's okay. This is that's a that's a
No,
move
boo
I
boo.
would make any day. Yeah.
That is a normal for me or Shannon. It's like, did you
Mm-mm.
get that? Like, no,
No.
no. You gotta hit the send button, heifer. You gotta hit send. Um, our friend in the north. Check out the movie Ender's Game and Ready Player One. I think I've seen
Yes.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player, and I just rewatched that a couple weeks ago, which is another Spielberg thing, and he has a tendency, like Minority Report and other things, to really do his research on future things and the reality of what's going to be playing out. And this is like, to me, Ready Player One reminds me of Mall World, but like on a grander scale, on like, it's the metaverse, it's the future, uploading your consciousness. And I'm reminded about, that one guy who's, I think it's Neftali or something, I can't remember his last name, but he is like a real big wig in the tech, mind hive. Sorry.
Uh huh.
Yeah. And he basically says, what are we going to do with these useless eaters? Well, we've got these virtual reality things that we could just stick them in. It is 100% Ready Player One. Let's distract the poor folk and put them in this virtual reality.
Oh, Clayton, sir, this is a fantastic email. Yeah, it's here. I'm looking. I'm reading. There's lots of links in here.
Yes. And oh my gosh, and I sent you, because I found it, with the, okay, you're gonna have so much fun with the subject matter. You're gonna be spurred. It's This is fascinating stuff. Another show to look forward to, guys.
Well, now we know what we're talking about Thursday night.
Yeah.
Clayton's email.
Yep. And hopefully we can kind of put some stuff together on what that other sigil is
No,
that
Clayton.
we discovered today.
Let me show you something. I'm gonna save your email for later, so I've got some real hard time to go in and look at it. If you can be here Thursday night, I will email you a link Thursday if you'd like to be on the show. You're more than welcome to join with us. We'd love to talk about it. But don't worry about what your brain feels like when it doesn't slow down. I'm gonna show you something. This is what my brain does. This is your brain. This is your brain on the awakening.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
I'm on the
Squirrel.
air. Love you, night night. Come around the other way and give me kisses. I gotta get night night kisses from my baby girl. But Clayton, don't feel bad because as you can see down here, I love you. Good night. Um, these are all. This is where Roxy's brain went sideways when I needed to know what each civilization's gods, deities, what they called them, what they looked like, did they leave anything behind? Who were they? Where were they located? What continent were they on? Did they have a particular blood type? Who was Noah's people? See, this all started from a random thought. So don't feel bad.
Yep. What?
That was a random thought about I woke up, literally woke up. I don't dream much. If I do, I don't remember it. But I woke up with the image of the Egyptian hieroglyph in my mind of the half man with like the crow looking bird head. And I said, you know what? What if that was a Nephilim? What if that's not? And yep, we're on like page 8 of the spreadsheet now, and there's like 2 folders on the laptop. Uh, yeah, you can send it, Shannon. Have you got your email in here?
I do. Wait, in here in this thing?
There it
Yeah.
goes. All right, it's on the screen at the bottom. The children of the Most High. I will copy it and put it in the comments as well. Dun 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 dun. Clayton, you're a fantastic friend. We hope we get you on here. It is horrifying, and that's one thing we have to accept is that a lot of these things that we're looking at, we're dealing with, and we're discerning that a lot of them are not pleasant. They're not pretty. They're not putting a nice pink bow. But if we all understand what's coming and what's about to happen, we're well aware of this, and we can't be fearful of it.
Did
Yeah,
you?
the Thursday night show, Clayton, it's a little later because it's on West Coast time. So I don't know. Are
Mhm.
you Pacific or Eastern time?
We're
I
in
don't.
the middle.
We're in the middle. Yeah, I don't know
We're in
what
the
time
middle.
zone you're in. Because Thursday night we run a little later because that one's Shannon's
Hmm.
show.
But if I need to bump it up, I can this Thursday. We can work something out. And also, hey, Roxy, before I forget, because you had some other neat things you wanted to share about your research on said website.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Roxy stumbled into something else today.
I'm like, you have to share it.
Imagine that. Roxy stumbled into something else. Okay. Well, amidst looking for ancient deities and artifacts, I decided I would look up said deities and artifact names at that 3-letter agency that starts with a C and ends with an A. Um, and upon I did stumble into something, and this is what you can look for. I just thought this was very unique. I stumbled into a case log file. You can actually look it up this way as a FOIA case log, and this one come up, and what it is every request they have had for information, they have to log it and give it a request number. But the neat thing was, I went looking at the ones over here on the side, you see that are hand marked. Why'd you hand mark them? If it's just a normal list showing your work schedule, why are you making spelling corrections and marking them over here on the side of the document? So then I started going back and looking at what these markings were next to. And then there's some others which are like right here. Records regarding the development of human trafficking in Libya after the fall of the Gaddafi regime. It's marked with an arrow. Public sale and auction of migrant asylum seekers. Yeah.
Hmm.
There's some stuff on here, some names, but if somebody here asked for the records on divorce rate within the CIA. That's
Oh,
unusual.
interesting.
Uh-huh. There's some very interesting things on here. But I don't know if you've ever been over here, but up here you will see that is where you go. It is that begins with a C, ends with an A, with a dot and a GOV, and it's their reading room. You can actually hang on. I want to download this. I don't want to lose it because I got something I'm looking at. But when you go to said agency website, it is right here in the reading room. It will bring you up here, and under the search, as you can see, I've been putting in some unique things. Um, Let's see. We'll go with gifted and talented. And what it'll do, it'll bring up any document that has that word in it that is a release document. But what you can do, I know this one brings up stuff because I've read a bunch of it. But you can put in stuff like paperclip or Montauk or, you know, that word. But when you pull it up, this one says status. Now, when you're looking at this, you'll see right here when the document was created, when it was or when it was released, when the original document, you can click on it and then it will open up the actual document. And of course, sometimes it's covered in little black lines, etc., etc. But yeah, Roxy spends some time down there seeing what she can find. A lot of times, I just think they're
See,
absolutely unique.
I need to start doing that. It's another one on my list.
Hey Kay, I'm glad you could join us tonight. Clayton, he's on your time zone, so Thursday night will be 6:30 Pacific.
Yep, 6:30.
So 6:30 Pacific. I will email you a link earlier in that day to come into the studio. You can just come in. We'll come into the studio a few minutes early. That way we can kind of chit chat and then we'll come on air and you can kind of go through some of this information. Shannon and I'll go through it before then, but we'll plan for special guest Clayton for Thursday night, everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. It'll be one of my first special guests. I'm
We're
excited.
excited. Yeah, we're excited, Clayton.
I'm like,
We're,
yes.
we're excited. We're
I kind
we're
of got
excited.
obsessed with this subject matter for like a while, and Andy actually got into it with me. So I'm kind of excited to share about this too. So,
Yeah, it's unique. When we found that sigil up under there, we were like, "Ah, here we go." We knew we'd spotted something thanks to a FaceTime call. If it hadn't been for the FaceTime, we would have never seen it down there.
it's true. So true. So true.
All right, guys. Well, we've been at this about an hour and 20 minutes. So we will be back on Thursday night. Clayton will be with us. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, this is my link. This is Shannon's link.
Woohoo.
If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. It's not a big deal either way. We
Totally.
appreciate it either way. Um, and remember, as I usually tell you every time we try to exit this show, be kind. Be kind to others. Kindness spreads, and so does love. Sometimes all it takes is a smile at a stranger to change their whole day. When you see a stranger, try to find something, an honest something, to compliment or tell them hello or smile at them. Nice shoes, nice purse. Where'd you get that jacket at? It's so cool. Be honest about it with good intention. Spread love, spread care, and spread kindness. Stay prayed up because we got a lot going on in this world. And remember that we are a community and we are a family. And if you need Shannon and our between shows, you can always reach out on our community boards on YouTube or you can email us. You can go back to some of these episodes and find our email if you don't have it. But we're here. Um, there was a viewer that reached out the other day that was having a rough day and just kind of needed somebody and just back and forth. We're a family. That's what we're here for.
Amen. Yeah, I know a lot of us have felt alone and isolated and just different for a long time, but know that you are part of our family here because we are just like that. We're a bunch of weirdos, but in a good way.
Absolutely. And thank you, Mike, as usual. Always here. Stellar rock star you are. Wayne, Diana, Big E, Clayton, Miss Kay, anybody that we missed, I'm sorry if we missed you. If you were here and we didn't call your name, it's because you didn't talk in the room. Diana, you can still tell James I'm upset. And you can let him know that if he's not here Thursday night, um, there's going to be a strongly worded text message sent to him through you. So just let him know.
Uh-oh. Don't do it.
We're just giving you a hard time, Diana. Miss Kay, I hope you have a good night too. 6:30 sounds good to Clayton. So Thursday, I'll send you a link and we'll see you Thursday night, Clayton. Everybody have a good night. Say your prayers before bed. We love you. We'll see you Thursday.